Hello everyone, ex-Wallkill Bethelite here, and I've got a couple announcements. First announcement, at our meeting here is we're going to try to do a live stream tomorrow. Yes, let's do a live stream. So about, let's say, I'm in Texas, right? So my time, about 8:30. Let's try to do a live stream about 8:30. If there's some kind of an emergency on my end, it'll be just like a little after 8:30, maybe 9. But I'm going to aim for about 8:30. Let's try to do a live stream tomorrow. That way we can talk about a number of different topics. I'll start off with the topic, but you know how it goes with the live stream. Depending on what people bring up, we could venture off into a number of different topics. We can just explore what everybody has on their minds and kind of dig in that way. So let's have fun. Let's enjoy our live stream. Everybody can talk a little bit. They can talk a little bit about how they're doing so far. Leaving the cult, surviving the cult of Jehovah's Witnesses. You have survived one of the worst cults there are, right? So that there is an accomplishment, and we can talk about how we're doing tomorrow. Another thing is I'd like to talk a little bit today about religion, where I am with religion. And here's the thing about that, where I am is going to be different from where you are and from where he is and she is and that little kid over there is, and it's going to be different. So what I'd like to also do as part of an announcement is open up debate, right? We can debate our religious beliefs. If you'd like to try to set that up, 937-789-4029. You can text or try to call if I'm not busy, or if I am busy, leave a message and I'll try to get back with you. And we can try to figure out how to set up a debate where we can debate our religious beliefs. And my religious belief I'm about to get into here in a second. And I would love to debate it with people. So again, tomorrow we're going to have a live, talk about how everybody's doing. I'd like to hear from people who have been subscribers for years and years and years. You know what I mean? Also, we're going to open up. I'm going to open up the floor to debate. I can throw down the gavel and challenge, but it's up to somebody to take up that challenge. And it's to have a discussion, not necessarily to argue, not necessarily to attack. If you don't feel that you are firm in your belief and someone questioning that belief will make you mad and make you rage, make you breathe fire on everybody and cuss and kick the screen, then by all means don't debate. But if you can remain calm and objective and discuss beliefs, then we can do that. We can talk politics. Who wants to talk politics? 937-789-4029. We'll go into the topic and we'll discuss that. We'll come up with a debate for that also. All that's on the table. It's all on the table. So let's get into what we're going to talk about today. And that is where I am with religion. You guys have called me and asked me, and typically I wasn't prepared for the question. Typically somebody called and they just, hey, where are you with religion? And I just, I think of something off the top of my head as far as where I am, but it's not as well thought out as what I'm going to try to present today. So where I am, and this is going to sound cliche, but then I'm going to explain how where I am is probably not where everybody else is. I am by far, more spiritual than religious. Now, what you might think I mean by that is not actually what I mean. what you might think I mean by that is that I just stay at home and read my Bible and pray and meditate. I just don't go to church, right? I do everything church people do, but I don't go to church. That's what a lot of people think that means when somebody says they are more spiritual than religious. For me, no, that's not what I mean, because it's all centered around the concept. And hear me out with this. Give me a little rope. Matter of fact, give me a little grape soda here while I explain this. Let's wet the whistle. Okay. After Jehovah's Witnesses, keep in mind I've been to Bethel. I've gone as far as you can go in the Jehovah's Witness organization, literally as far as they would allow, right? They started putting Bethelites out. So I went as far as it was allowed to go and realized that that religion doesn't essentially work, right? It's that scripture about it having a form of devotion. Yeah, they're devoted to Watchtower, but proving false to its power, right? They don't have any power or ability beyond anybody else. The cult is just very strict and scares people with disfellowship. So people tend to hide things that they do a little bit more, and they scare people with Armageddon any other day now. So people tend to be a little bit more fearful. But overall, that religion breeds very, very unchristian people. Now, listen here. We all know that Jehovah's Witnesses are known for having messed up, destroyed families where brothers and sisters are in hospital. I'm not talking about Christian brother, sister. I'm talking about your blood brother and sister are in the hospital, or your mom or your dad's in the hospital, and your family is so fractured and so bad that the news don't even get to you, right? That's something that has happened often among Jehovah's Witnesses, where somebody's in a hospital and their own direct brother, sister, son, daughter, mother, or father don't even know. That is because Jehovah's Witness families are horrible. Jehovah's Witness families are worse than had they not joined a religion at all. And it doesn't make sense, but that religion makes a person extremely disagreeable with anybody in their own family, but extremely agreeable with anybody outside their family, right? It's mind-numbingly ridiculous. It's not logical. It's not 1 and 1 making 2. It's 1 and 1 making 13. Like it's a Jehovah's Witness don't get along with their relative. And it's something stupid, like that relative don't want to go to their religious services. So they don't get along with it. They don't talk to them. They ain't talked to their own relative in 10 years. But they get along just fine with such and such at work. But such and such at work, they don't want to go to the Kingdom Hall. They don't want to join their religion. They don't agree with their religion. But Jehovah's Witnesses find a way to get along with workmates. They find a way to get along with people in their comings and goings, and none of them are Jehovah's Witnesses, but their own family, for some reason, if they're not a Jehovah's Witness, all of a sudden, now we can't get along. No, it's just that these people aren't Christian. And a family is where you would have to exercise all those things the Bible talks about as far as love being kind and long-suffering, and you don't have to do that as much with people at work because you're only around them for so long, then you go home. But people you're in your family that's been around you a long time, well, those are the people that it takes more effort to be Christian with, right? Well, Jehovah's Witnesses are very bad Christians. So to a large degree, not all of them, but to a large degree, they can't even get along with their own relatives. And the only reason they get along with people outside of their family is either because, they feel like they all agree on everything as far as their religion, or they're trying to convert them. They're trying to make themselves look good in front of them, so they'll join the. They got ulterior motive. So the Jehovah's Witness faith just don't work. It turns out a whole bunch of very disagreeable, very unchristian people can't even get along with their own relatives. Let's look at the Catholic Church, right? Because you're going to see what I've learned. And what I've learned is that all these religions have some common things, right? They've got things in common. All these religions have got things in common. But the one thing I've noticed, that any religion that you can think of, that you're thinking of right now, that's on the tip of your head, on the tip of your tongue, and you want to say it, you can say the religion right now. Say it. That religion don't work. That's that, and I'll put a little bit more detail. That religion don't work for everybody. The religion that you just said, say it again. That religion don't work for everybody. Jehovah's Witnesses doesn't work for everybody. You got all these people shunned this fellowship, lives destroyed. Catholicism don't work for everybody. Baptist church doesn't work for everybody. Pentecostal church. All these religions, if any of them was the one true religion, well, then that religion would be connected to God, and God would be able to interact with anybody. It would work for everybody, right? Well, you got Catholics, and to a large extent, all these religions, what they produce has to do with their structure. Catholics, priests aren't supposed to have wives. Well, prison rules come into effect whenever a guy hadn't had sex in a long freaking time. Like, prison rules come into effect, and whatever looks good to you looks good to you. You know what I mean? People are sexual creatures, and we're supposed to have sex. Priests, to my knowledge, Catholic priests, Roman Catholic priests, don't have wives, right? So other stuff just starts looking good to them, and they whack on that meat, right? Whatever it is. I mean, whatever it is. You're not supposed to be having sex with kids at all, altar boys, whatever. But all that stuff was going on, and it was bad, right? That religion could not produce priests that could control themselves sexually without a wife and being able to have sex. And I saw it because I studied the religion, and I would watch broadcasts, the Catholic broadcasts, where you have the monks, right? And the monks would be, talking to people, and there'd be women in the crowd, and you could tell those monks are looking at them women like, they look good, but they for whatever reason they won't let themselves. And that don't work out too well in the long term. They end up whacking on something. You know what I mean? And so that religion, people find comfort in it, but it don't work for everybody, right? True religion should work for everybody. Baptist church. Go to a Baptist church. Let me set my grape soda down here. Because if you go to the Baptist church, what you going to see? You're going to see, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Jesus. He's right on time. He woke me up this morning. He gave me some breakfast. He put butter on my toast. Can I hear amen? And then you have people fainting and falling out. And you got the ladies with the big church hats, the big Baptist church hats. And they fainting and falling out. And some of them ladies as big as all the get out. And it takes the whole back row that's behind them, the pew behind them. It takes a concerted effort to catch that lady and hold her up. Elbows about to buckle because she's so heavy. They got people fanning people, you know what I mean, from fainting and whatnot. You're going to have some good choir music. Go to a Baptist church, there's a good chance there's people that can sing in that choir. There's people in that choir that probably going to have professional music careers. They're so good at singing. But you look around the church, you look around the church, and you see all these baby mamas You see all these baby daddies. You see the baby mama drama. You see the baby daddy drama. You see the same things in the church that's going on outside the church. Wait a minute. You're supposed to have power beyond what's normal. You're supposed to. Why'd you join the religion if you're just going to have a bunch of baby mamas anyway? I guess maybe because the music's good. I give them that. They can sing. I give them that. But you got all the baby mamas. You got everybody that's there. Not everybody, but you got a lot of people that's there on a Sunday that was at the club twerking or shaking that behind on Saturday, right? Sometimes you go into a club and when you leave, they stamp your hand so you can get back in without having to pay again. Well, people are coming to church, coming to the Baptist church, and their hand is still stamped from freaking Saturday, right? From going to the club, right? You got all these people that like to say things that sound good, like I want me a man who loves God. I want me a man who comes to church. I want me a man who can take the lead as the head of the family spiritually. And you look beside, what do they bring to church? I said, what do they bring to church? They bring the biggest thuggish, ruggish young man they can find, the furthest thing from Christianity that they can find, the most tattooed, the person with the most street cred. They bring the polar, complete, and total opposite. That's what you see. You go to a Baptist church, especially a big one, look at everybody's boyfriends in there. Look at all these girls' boyfriends. And I don't know, you know what I mean? It was good that they got them to show up, but they all, for the most part, are pursuing the polar opposite of what they're supposed to. You get all the guys, and they're doing the same thing. They all these baby mamas with all these kids, and what was the point? Because you're doing the same thing everybody else is doing. The pastor is at the homosexual club, right? The pastor is sleeping with everybody's wife in the church. It don't work for everybody, right? Same thing in common with Jehovah's Witness, same thing in common with the Catholic Church, Baptist Church, don't work for everybody. Pentecostal Church is just the Baptist Church on steroids. I went to the Pentecostal Church, I'm telling you, I have been to every church. I've been to every church because I went on a search after I left the Jehovah's Witnesses. Pentecostal church, you got people literally. I seen a woman with her baby, and she handed the baby to her mom that was sitting next to her, and then she went to running around the church, and she was running like this. I kid you not. She was the Pentecostals, they ain't necessarily on beat like the Baptists are on beat. The Baptists make all that stuff look good. Pentecostals just all wild. They just all wild. So this girl handed her baby to her mom. Where was her husband at? Where was he at? Where her baby daddy at? She should have been handing the baby to the baby daddy. But then she went to wail in her arms like this. And I mean, just as wild as humanly possible and running darn near full speed. And the church was a nice sized auditorium. And she's running around the whole church, wailing her arms. I mean, all that. And imagine that times like 30 other people doing the same thing. Jumping up and down, screaming, standing up on the pews, right? People are just walking around the church and grabbing people and praying. And then after they pray, the person falls out. Just all kind of wildness, right? But then you see the same thing. You see the same thing where the churches, they either have to be extremely strict, like make parents extremely strict and make it to where people just, they ain't allowed to have a boyfriend, right? Because if they are allowed to have one or a girlfriend, they're about to pick the polar opposite of what they're supposed to have, according to the church. A lot of times. Not every time, but the point is if God is involved with that particular religion and the people who are in that, it should work for everybody. All religions have something in common. It don't work for everybody, right? Islam has it where you got women, and the women are all like this. The women are all walking around like this, right? Ain't this how the women are at in Islam? They're walking around, oh, toy, oh, toy. The whole concept, I guess, is if you don't see the shape and how pretty they are and stuff like that, well, it don't tip the guys. That's true. But it goes right back to the point where you shouldn't have to do that. Heaven's Gate, those people in that cult were cutting their penises off. They were castrating each other. If you are connected to God, you shouldn't have to castrate yourself. If you're connected to God, women should be able to wear regular stuff. And then let's just see how they act, right? Let all the women of Islam have their pick of clothing. And I want to see what they pick. Let them do whatever they want. And I want to see if they start marrying guys right out of prison. Let them do whatever they want on social media. And let's see if they get half stark naked on social media and start shaking it for views. Let's see if that religion has any more power within it because it's connected to God than any other. But what ends up happening is that religion has to be extremely strict. Why? Because it knows people don't have that ability. You got to cover them women all the way up. Does it work? Possibly. You know what I mean? It probably does help if you don't see anything that is overly appealing. You know, women are still going to be appealing to guys, and guys are still going to be appealing to women. But if everybody is not allowed at the threat of getting their head cut off, whole head, woo, whole head cut off, then of course, right? That's what cults do. They're overly strict. They make it where you can't. They're gonna tie your hands together and chain you like this, right? Now you can't steal nothing because you're chained up. It's not because your religion provides you with any more willpower or virtue. You just can't because you're chained up. They got them women. Boy, they got them women all like this. I mean, I guess if you live in a Muslim country, it's a good chance you might spend the whole day and not be overly tempted by some model on Instagram with her whole butt cheek, like doing a little muscular thing with one butt cheek flexes and the other one flexes. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, if you're super strict and you don't let anybody do anything, otherwise you're going to kill them or cut their arms off or stone them, hit them with rocks, like line 50,000 people up to hit them with rocks. Like if you're doing extreme stuff like that, then the religion don't matter. You know, I don't need a religion to just cover women up and, hey, if you don't get covered up, I'm going to kill you. You know what I mean? You don't need a religion for that. Just tell them, put it in place, make it a law. The religion is not giving them any more power to control themselves. It's just strict rules at the threat of death, right? Just like Jehovah's Witnesses, at the threat of disfellowshipping, you better not do this and that. Not that you have any more ability to just not do that, to just not do this or that. But so basically, we could go all the way around, and none of those, all the religions don't work for everybody. I don't care what it is. It's just there's some people it just don't work for. God should work for anybody, right? Now let's get to where I am. So all those religions had founders. Most of those founders are no longer here. And what happened, this is my opinion on what happened, is you had all these people that were inspired, right? They're fired up, right? They're visionaries. And what happened is everybody followed the visionary. So let's say Jesus Christ, it was a real person. Who knows if he actually walked on water and all that stuff. But let's say you got a real person, Jesus Christ, way back in the day, who was inspired. He had a vision. He was a visionary, and he went out and he talked to the people. And what do people do? They become followers, right? But the spark was in Jesus. Let's say you have Muhammad, right? But here's the problem. Jesus isn't here anymore, right? He went to heaven or whatever. Let's say you have Muhammad, and he's fired up. He's inspired. He's got this vision. He's a visionary. He tells everybody his vision, and everybody jumps on board with him. Well, the spark was in Muhammad, right? The spark was in Jesus. That's that spirituality I'm talking about. And the problem is everybody else just tried to follow them. You can't gain the spark that they had by just following them, being a follower. No, you have to develop that spark within you. Buddha. You know what I mean? Everybody knows the guy sitting Indian style, but he looked happy as all get out. Buddha. Inspired by something. Visionary. You know what I mean? These people are all different parts of the world. But one thing is they have in common is spiritually they were on fire. They weren't followers. Jesus wasn't a follower. To my knowledge, Muhammad wasn't a follower. Buddha probably wasn't a follower. We just go on down the list of all these people who got so famous because they had that spark, that spiritual fire within them, that they done started whole religions. They done started a whole flock of people following behind them. And those people that follow Jesus don't have the same power Jesus had. Why? Jesus was following his own spiritual path. This is Marcus speaking, right? Jesus was following his own spiritual path, his own spiritual fire, and that did give him power beyond what was normal, right? He's enthused, right? He is inspired, energetic. It's easier to meet your goals that way, right? When you there ain't nothing that's going to stop you. You are super focused, right? You don't get that just by following other people, right? Let me just do what they did. No, you got to find that within yourself. Same thing with Muhammad, right? He's on fire. Like he's conquering cities and all kinds of things. And he's so on fire and so secure in his belief. And he may have thought he talked to God, right? What if he 100% thought he talked to God? It worked, right? It worked for him. That ain't gonna work for everybody. I'm just gonna follow this one person, right? They tried it. We'll write stuff. We'll write a Bible. Jesus didn't write a Bible, but Christian, we'll write a Bible. So everybody just follow behind Jesus. It don't work because you're not gonna have the same power Jesus had because you're not following your spiritual path like he did. If you follow what appeals to you, what sparks and lights you on fire, then you become extremely motivated, extremely hard to stop. Whatever you set out to accomplish, most likely you're going to accomplish, but you have to be all out after and all out just absorbed in what inspires you, right? A lot of times we are afraid of what other people think. So the things that inspire us, the things that we love, the things that would really motivate us, we kind of, shy away from it because we're scared of what everybody else would think. Jesus wasn't. Jesus wasn't scared about what nobody else thought. He didn't care about what the Pharisees thought. The same thing with Muhammad, right? He wasn't worried about what other people thought. This is what he thought. This is what he believed. And he was on fire for it. And it was so effective for him that everybody tried to just mimic him, right? God must be with him because look, the same thing with Jesus. People looking at God must be with the guy. Look, he is on fire. He ain't scared of nothing. We can all be Jesus. We can all be Muhammad. We all have the ability to be on fire spiritually on fire for our beliefs, on fire for what we believe in and what we think and how we feel and what we want to pursue. But the problem is religion kind of shames that. Religion is like, no, you need to be trying to be like someone else. No, you need to be using your power to try to do someone else's bidding, right? You can't just be on fire for what you want because you're damaged, you're sinful, you're this, you're that. No, I mean, that wasn't the case for Jesus. That wasn't the case for Muhammad. That wasn't the case for Buddha. Wasn't the case for Charles Taze Russell. These people were on fire for what they believe, and people started following them because it was working so well for them. So basically, what I'm saying is religion don't work for everybody, but following your inspiration, following what fires you up, following what you want, what energizes you, what you really like, what your vision is, following that will inspire you. That will inspire everybody that does it. That works for everybody. Marcus is spiritual. Marcus gets inflamed and fired up in his belief and what he wants, and it gives me power beyond what's normal to accomplish goals. I can meditate on it all day and night because I like it. I love it. It's like God to me, right? That's where I am. So debate me if you like, but it's going to be hard to debate me because what I'm talking about, it worked for Jesus. It worked for Muhammad. It worked for everybody that was so on fire and so powerful. Everybody tried to follow them and started a whole religion of followers, trying to follow them, to try to be like them. No, the spark came from in them. The God fire, whatever you want to call it, came from within them. Everybody else saw it and said, God is with them. Look at them. We can all do that. 937-789-4029. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. We'll discuss it. X Wall Kill Bethelite signing out.